Scene of the 1956 Olympic rowing competition, Lake Windaree is a Ballarat icon. The lake offers a wide variety of attractions and things to do, including the Steve Moneghetti walking and running track, fishing, boating and beautiful gardens. Stage 4, 82 kilometres, and the last 2 kilometres is where it's all going to happen. As they climb up behind Cryal Castle, they go up Mount Warren Help. It's 2 kilometres straight up, there's nowhere to come down here today. They'll finish at the top, they'll stay at the top until everyone's finished, and then they'll roll back down for a well-deserved drink. We've had beautiful weather for this tour of Goldfields for 2014, however today the wind is going to pick up. We're expecting 30 to 40 km/h winds. It's going to be a little bit overcast. It's a little bit chillier here this morning, and that is going to play havoc with the bunch. A lot of girls today are going to be looking for the easy ride. There's going to be a few sore legs. Only the top 20 girls are really going to want to get into the racing here this morning.
So the plan is to protect Ruth's lead. Obviously don't want anything to go away, so the safest option is for us to keep everything together, and especially to play to our strengths to go up the hill. So yeah, we'll definitely make something then. We all want to go out with a bang, so it's definitely going to be on today.
Stage 4, and as predicted, the wind played havoc on the virtual square-shaped circuit here today. Crosswind one way, then a tailwind, then a headwind. All the riders were diving for the gutter, trying to get the best sit they possibly could. The sprint competition was a head-to-head challenge between Laurelie Moss and Jess Mundy. Laurelie Moss is the rider who was trying to defend her lead, and she's done that for the day. 1 or 2 riders suffered mechanical problems throughout the stage. The most noted of that was Chloe McConville. The VIS rider had to fight very hard to come back through the convoy after a mechanical mid-race. She was strong enough though to come back to the bunch and really be of assistance to her VIS teammates. The big move of the day came from Louisa Lobigs. Her first NRS season, she looped off the front with about 30 kilometres to go.
Well, I knew it was a pretty windy day today and thought I could play that to my advantage. I've just been training in Doha and get pretty strong winds there, so I knew I could handle that. And I'm not scared of the wind, so thought I'd just give it a crack.
It was one of those attacks you think this will go only so far and they'll chase back to her. However, that's not what happened. One by one they started to go across to her, most notably Christy Wymus and also Bridie O'Donnell. That breakaway swelled to 7 riders and at one point had a minute 23, which gave Lobigs the lead on the road, the virtual tour leader. It was all left up to the Holden racing team. Ruth Corset's girls had to go to the front of the bunch, but they did so professionally. They chased. It didn't look easy out there for them. They chased all day long. As they started the final climb, Ruth Corset started to show why she is the National Road Series winner for 2014. She used her climbing ability absolutely perfectly, taking in one by one all of the breakaway contenders.
We did panic a little bit towards the end there when the gap got to minute 20, and that's when I started working. Then when we heard the time gap was closing down and we knew that that final climb was coming, my team was sure that I would be able to make that time up the climb. So yeah, it worked out well at the end.
She had some stiff opposition from the likes of Jo Hogan and Bridie O'Donnell in the last couple of kilometres, but she ended up catching the front and riding away and winning by nearly a minute on the finish line.
I don't like a boring race. It's good when it's windy and hilly, so I love a tough race. I often say to myself, if I'm hurting, everyone else is hurting more, so I try and tell myself that, so yeah, that seems to work.
City of Ballarat Tour of Goldfields winner for 2014 and National Road Series champion is Ruth Corset. After fierce competition from Jessica Mundy, the sprint winner for 2014 at the Tour of Goldfields was Laurelie Moss. Once again showing her climbing ability in this tour, the Queen of the Mountain was Ruth Corset, Holden Racing. Finally, the team's classification winners was the Holden Racing team.